Internet, this episode is brought to you by the College of Hip Hop. The College of Hip Hop is a dope app. Listen, go to your app store. It's available across all app platforms. And listen, they even have a free exclusive seminar by No Malice. You know No Malice, Miss Lissa?
Yeah, from the clips.
Of course. It's entitled Lifestyles of an Artist. Go there, download the app. Anybody, listen, let me tell you something. If you're looking to learn the business side of the arts and entertainment industry, check out this app.
That's right. It's the first and only entertainment education app found in the app stores. And you can catch it on Google Play, Apple apps, or even Obama apps, wherever you got.
Obama has
your
apps?
He got everything now that he's going apps, snaps, and everything else.
Listen, Internet, go download the College of Hip Hop. Check out what they got going on. Tell them the Premium Pete Show sent you. Now let's get to the show.
Ow.
CHEA.
Come on, everybody get set, let's go. It's the next episode. It's the Premium Pete Show. News, interviews, all of the info. Listen up, it's the Premium Pete Show. If you want the scoop in the low, down low, listen to the show, cause Milk said so. Fuck what you heard, better act like you know. Miss Lissa knows. It's the Premium Pete Show.
Hold up, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Y'all thought I was finished?
CHEA.
When I brought that Aspen Martin, y'all thought it was rented?
Nope.
Flexing on these niggas, I'm like Popeye with that spinach. Double MG, that's my team. Rose, the captain, I'm lieutenant. I'm the type the cat and rent the catch and down like I'm broke. That Lambo and that new bitch that's round like I'm ghost.
CHEA.
I'm riding around the city with my hands on my toes, cause these niggas want me killed, and I'm trying to make it home. And that man, that son, man, that milk,
CHEA.
and that they fuck around, get killed. You fuck around, you not just playing. I'm gonna do that.
Yo, let me tell you something. I don't even know what the fuck you were
I
saying.
don't either. I was doing that because
that
I
shit
felt
was
like
official.
I need Nikki to do
Yo,
something like that.
Hold on. You were sounding like you were doing
You
a
felt
Meek.
it.
Wait, hold on. You were doing a Meek Mill verse, one of his best that I love, and then you turned into some future shit. So don't worry about it. That shit sounded fire. Internets, listen. It's with great pleasure to welcome my son to the Premium Pete Show.
Ow.
Hey.
I'm so excited.
Miss Lissa, listen. First off, I want to shout out Raymond Santana, Central Park
Shout out
5.
to my boy.
When I spoke to him about you, and he was like, "Yo, he'd be great to have on the show," and I was like, "Yo, I want this dude on the show just because of what you were spitting, even before you went to Hot 97 and put the airways on fire, just spitting that real shit." We'll get to that in a second.
Yes, sir.
But even Miss Lissa was talking about you for a minute, and she was like, "Yo, I just love what the dude is doing for the community."
That's a fact.
And we'll get into that too. Anyway, listen, welcome to the show, my son.
Thank you for having me.
Man, I want to go into this. We'll go back and forth, but with Flex, right? How did that happen? Was that something that was supposed to happen for a minute? Like, let the internet know behind the scenes shit that happened. How did that go down?
Well, I know Flex for years, you know what I'm saying? He's from the Bronx, and he's always been supportive, throughout the years. I give him music, he'll play it here and there, what he likes, he doesn't, whatever. So, he he started the whole freestyle thing again. So I seen it, I was like, oh, I need to be on this freestyle. So, I was hitting him. I was like, yo, Flex, I need to get on the freestyle, I need to get on the freestyle. And then I started, if you actually was on my Instagram, I had started like an online campaign.
Oh, that's
like
dope.
a petition.
So I was doing a petition. I would say, yo, until Funk Flex brings me on Hot 97, I'm gonna put a new freestyle every other day. I need y'all to tell Flex I need to be up here. So it was people was hitting him like, Flex, Mike's need to be up there. I was putting up freestyles. They was getting like 10,000 views. They like Flex, and then he would like them. He would actually retweet some of them, whatever. But so they had did the Hot 97 show in where was it? Was it the Garden? I think it was in Madison Square Garden. They did the Christmas show.
Maybe the Barclays, maybe.
It might have been the Barclays. I don't know, but I know it was there. They did their winter show.
Hot for the holidays.
Yeah, Hot for the holidays.
Yep.
And one of my best friends, Shelby, is a promoter, so he was the main promoter on it.
Okay.
So he had me there. So I went there really to support him. And backstage, I ran into Flex. So the first thing he did is start laughing. So you just not gonna stop putting on freestyles till I bring you up? I was like, yep, that's my campaign. He's like, all right. Well, listen. He said, well, give me music. I'm on my New York thing right now. So give me some music too. Like you got some songs that's New York. Send it to me. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do that. So like probably a few days went by. I'm on my way to DC. I had a meeting with the former DNC chair. Down in Brazil, we had like a big meeting with a lot of the grassroots activists and the up and coming young activists and the older activists, just seeing like, what are we gonna do? This is like right, after the Trump situation. So we all sitting in the room trying to figure out how we gonna do, what we gonna strategize. And on my way there, I'm on I'm on a bus, like a 3-hour ride. It's a bus, 3-4 hour ride. So I'm on a bus, I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumbs. I'm like, what should I be doing? So I'm online. I'm like, you know what? Let me send Flex this song. Now I had sent it to him prior, but now it's Sunday. It's a Sunday morning, probably like 11 o'clock. So I'm texting him, Flex, did you listen to the song? He ain't answering me back. I'm kept texting him like every 30 minutes, Flex, just listen to the song. Flex, just listen to the song. I'm telling you, you're gonna love the song. Just listen to the song, Flex. So probably around 1 or 2 o'clock, he like, I don't see it in my email. So I'm gonna send it again. So I sent it to him. I said, did you get it? Like 20 minutes later, he texted me back. This is hard with like 10 exclamation points. So I'm like, I told you. You know what I'm saying? I told you it was hard like you would like it. So boom, next day I get back. I had to go right back to New York because I had something to handle. So it's Monday night. I'm in my house, got the radio on, and he's on the radio. He just blasted out Buster's Swiss's new record. He's blasting on. Then he starts. He's like, yo, it's a record that I'm gonna play. I'm not gonna tell you who it's from, but this record is just so hard. Like, it is so New York. I sent it out to everybody. I sent it out to Buster. I sent it out to everybody that I think all the other DJs, because I'm saying to myself, this record is a record that I think it could be a really big record. I don't want to know if I was crazy. So I in my mind I'm thinking maybe he told him, but I'm not really thinking, So he said, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm just going to tell you that when you hear this record, it just gives you that feeling. So I'm like, what the hell record is he talking about? I'm like, I would be dope if he's talking about my record, but I ain't thinking that.
Right.
So probably about 15 minutes later, he said, at the end of the countdown, play the record. So the beat comes on. So I'm like, oh, this is really my record. So he goes in for like 40 minutes straight. He's just like,
bringing it back.
I'm amped up. I'm on live. Like, yeah, we made it. We this and that. Said Flex is breaking the record. So from then on, he played he was on the record. So it was getting a lot of recognition. So now the record is getting recognition. I'm like, all right, Flex. Now I still need to come do it. Now we got the record. Is moving around, but I still need to go do this freestyle though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was the whole campaign. Like, I want the record, but I got something I got to say. Like, and I'm like, Flex, the freestyle that I have is going to change the game. It's not just everybody's rapping. What I'm telling you, like, this needs to be said.
Why do you think he was apprehensive?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe he's like, yo, I got you.
Right.
We just gotta find time. And then and weeks are going by, and there's other artists that some of them is wasting, up there wasting time. And I'm like, come on.
Yo, you know what I gotta say? Like, first of all,
Okay.
I'm a New York guy, just like you're a New York guy, and she's a New York girl. So I do appreciate everything that Flex has contributed to the culture. I know some people are tired of him.
He had a standstill moment.
But I always, at the end of the day, you got to give him credit, longevity.
You want me
right?
to tell you what? It's not just longevity. Flex has always been steadfast in his position. And he's always, no matter what you say, he loves the music and he loves what he does.
That's a fact.
And he will take a chance and break a record. The rest of these DJs don't do that no more. You listen to every other DJ, they go, and that's what happened. That's why the South sound took over New York, because they were going down south, listening to what other DJs were playing and bringing it here so they can be the DJ from here that broke other records somewhere else.
Right.
That other DJs already broke. They wasn't going finding artists that nobody was listening to. And when you go to a radio station and they're like, oh, who else is playing this record? Instead of saying, oh, this is a dope record, I'm gonna be the first one to
they
break
all
it.
following the same.
So Flex never did that. That's one thing I could say consistently. He would hear a record and be, oh, this is dope. I'm gonna play this record. I'm gonna break this record.
Yeah.
And he was always consistent in that. And then after a while, Hot 97 started trying to confine him and saying, yo, you gotta play certain things. But for the most part, he was always the DJ in New York that broke records. That literally was the first person to play a record.
Exactly. Now with the freestyle, one thing I will say, I love that he brought that segment to his show. But when he has this line that he says, not everyone
Everybody
could come up here. But he had Designer up there.
Yeah.
Now listen, let me tell you something. I don't want to shit on Designer because I'm a Brooklyn cat and I love what he's done. A fellow Brooklynite. There's a fellow New Yorker. I mean, he went what, platinum, double platinum, right? I mean, we got to be happy for that. But when you say, can everybody come up here?
Yeah, but then when I was
and then
there,
you don't have somebody like you up there.
Right, you have to fight your way up there.
You understand? That's the
I mean,
only
but
thing.
at the end of the day, this is still the music business, and I understand the business of it. And I'm not mad, you know. Like I know I felt like I should have been there earlier. Of course, I'm gonna feel like that.
Yeah.
But there's still business, and there's you have relationships. You know what I'm saying? Good music is a relationship he has. Him and Designer might have a personal friendship.
Yeah.
He might
Right.
actually like Designer, and Designer said I want to come up there. He probably, and I've seen him do it because when I was up there was a couple artists that say they rep is up there saying such want to come up here. He's like, I don't think they should come right now. You know, give him a little more time. Like this is a
But
tough.
he's treating it like a sensei.
He's like this is a tough crowd. Like you can lose everything up here if you don't get it right. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the time, sometimes relationships play a part. If you have a relationship with somebody, we might not think they dope, but you got a relationship with them. So you doing what you can to help them. You know, like Designer, I enjoy his music. I don't know what he's saying most of the time. Some of his songs I like. I like Panda. I like Timmy Turner. It just had a good feel.
I fuck with it.
No, I swear to
You
God.
like Panda. You're not really sure about Timmy Turner. Now do
No,
another
but
one.
I actually like the other.
Say something else. Because you
No, I
said
like
songs
Timmy Turner. I'm
with
talking
an
about
S.
those are two. I like
That's-
Timmy.
well,
Timmy.
he need a follow-up,
It just
'cause
was
I'm
a
still
good
not sure
little
about
feel.
Timmy.
You know what I'm saying? It was a good feel. It wasn't the best song in the world,
was
but
alright, Phil.
it was all right. It was all
wasn't
right.
nothing.
Nah, but here's the thing.
nostalgic
He
like
made good music.
yours.
He made.
Y'all keep using this word music very loosely.
Nah,
you
because
right.
here's the
I'm
thing.
not- what I would say is
he
this.
put sounds together
You
nicely.
know what it is? You know what me tell you what it is about Designer? He's a young kid. He's enjoying himself.
Yeah.
And he's not trying to be something he's not.
Exactly.
And I think that's what makes people gravitate. He's having a good time.
They're
he's out
creating
there.
a new genre of hip hop. It's not really.
No, it's not really hip hop.
Yeah, it's something else.
It's
It's like
another
rock,
form of
hip-hop.
music. There's nothing wrong
Rock
with it.
hop.
Exactly. It's probably
Let's
like
call it
rock
rock
hop.
hop. Let's call it
You
rock
know,
hop.
it's different. I just think that
Yeah,
it's a different genre. So I don't judge it according to what.
No,
I
I don't. But I
Yeah.
will say this: when you say not everyone can come up here,
You're right.
and let's be real. Let's call a
But what
spade a
happens
spade.
is this:
Yeah.
sometimes you bring somebody, like I said.
Well, you
based on
said you
relationship,
made the point, but
or sometimes you bring somebody up there to show them, like you got it.
Because even in your freestyle, you said what the kids are listening to is fake.
Yeah,
So it's
pretty
like,
much.
do you think they really want the real?
Of course they do, and it's evident that freestyle is in almost less than 5 days is at over about 1 million views right now. I mean, at 10 million views. You know what I'm saying? So when you say that, it's like, okay,
If you build it, they will come.
yeah, if you build, like I said, you build it, they will come, and you get the platform. If you give us actual rappers and people who take the art serious a platform and put us on the same stage as you put these people who are entertainers, and there's nothing wrong with entertaining.
yeah.
If you put us on the same platform, we gonna get the same results,
exactly.
if not better.
And the funny thing is, you've been around for a minute, a long minute, and for those people who don't know, it's organized chaos, but we'll bounce back and give people a little understanding of your journey. But more so, I don't want to lose the point of where you said. So, where'd you bring us? Where Flex finally came in, and said,
so-
where were we?
So yeah, I was hitting him up, and I was like, Flex, I'm telling you, I'm gonna change music. This freestyle I want to give out, like, it's necessary, like it's required for what's going on right now. I'm telling you, it needs to happen. So he kept saying, I got you, just give me some time. So I was real persistent. Like for this couple of days, every day I was like, Flex. It probably was right after Designer went up. I was like, okay.
Like, listen.
Now,
playing.
Flex,
Yeah.
come on now. Like, nothing wrong with Designer, dope, but come on.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I do. And then I'm like, yo, listen, I done did Sway. Like, I done did, like,
Sure.
like, this is not a joke. So he's like, all right, I got you next week. So I'm like, all right. And then the day came, and I was there with G Herbo did his freestyle, and the kid, the Vagabond guy who just put his out. So we was all there together, and I went last. Everybody had to rush, so I was like, let me just go last. And it just.
Now, did you pick the song?
Yeah, I picked the beat.
Okay. Is there a reason why you picked that beat?
Because it was New York, and
Okay.
it just like it felt.
Shouts to Just Blaze.
Shout out to Just Blaze. I really need a Just Blaze track. Like,
Okay. Just.
Did you
He-
watch
he
that
spent
battle
some
between
shit.
him and
that
Swift?
was epic, man.
Yeah.
It was like this weekend was just so dope for hip hop.
First of all, let's tell the people who may not even know, but everyone should fucking know. For hip hop, first of all, Mysonne, that freestyle. Remy Ma and Nicki.
Exactly.
And Swiss Beats and
was
just going
that
back to back for him. I mean, listen, you know who won? The Culture.
The Culture really won this weekend.
That's
man.
who won. It wasn't about.
I was a little mad at first. I was like, okay, Rick, Nikki, you gonna drop this song the same day that mine's come out? Like I was the lead thing, and then Nikki came, and I just went down a little, but it was still. I mean, Remy came with her single, and then
Sheeta.
Yeah, Sheeta.
Now listen, you born and raised in the Bronx.
Born and raised.
Okay, so you seen Remy come up.
Yep. Remy. Listen, I tell people this all the time. I remember Remy was 16 years old. My friend Steve. I was going to trial for my case before I got locked up. And thank you very much. This looked like some real fruity stuff.
No, it's not fruity. It's not fruity.
The drinks are flowing here. So guys, she was 16. You was 16, you said, or she was?
She was 16.
Okay.
And my friend Steve had brought her to my trial. I was in this Bronx Supreme Court. I'll never forget it. And I was coming out. I'm a little stressed out. I'm like, damn, fighting this case. And it wasn't looking good, and I wasn't feeling good. But she came. He brought her to the steps. And he's like, yo, I got this girl. You got to hear her. I had just had my deal. We was putting together our team, and we just needed a girl. So she came and started rhyming. And I was like, nah, she's the truth. She's going to be one. She on our team. She was
right off the bat.
Literally, I swear to God, I was going to sign Remy, like without no question. They brought her to me. I was like, yeah, we definitely gonna do this. And it was like our team was like the next hottest thing in the team. So it was like it didn't make no sense for her not to do it.
Now, what label were you signed to at that time?
I was signed to Def Jam.
Okay, and who
Chris
was
Lighty had signed me.
Yep, Violator.
Yep.
Okay, man, rest in peace, Chris Lighty. Man,
Chris was a good dude, man. Rest in peace.
What was What was the team that you had intact?
It was called Problem Children.
Okay.
I was the Problem Child. We had a whole problem. Like, we was going to make cartoons. Like, it was all...
Who was it?
It was, you wouldn't know these guys. They was all dudes from my hood.
Okay.
That I had put together.
And you were looking for a female.
Yeah.
And that's when they brought over Remy.
And they brought Remy.
And what happened with that? Because you had the case.
3 days later, I blew trial.
Okay.
Damn.
3 days later after that.
That's where you had to go do 7 years.
I did 7 years.
Let me tell you something. Even though, like I said, we have organized chaos here, but when you look back, you regret, what happened. I mean, I know you didn't do anything, and I know they caught you on some bullshit, and you fought because you know why? I will say this: they offered you 2 years.
One.
They offered you 1 year, and you went to trial. If that doesn't tell somebody that you fucking think you're innocent, then I don't know what the fuck tells you.
Facts.
You blew trial. For those people who don't know what blue trial means, is it didn't work in his favor.
That's it.
You understand? And then they give you 7 years.
7 to 14.
7 to 14. So you did your minimum. First of all, you could have did so much fucking time while you were in there.
Facts. You don't make you know
Yeah.
that you don't gotta come home. I know dudes that went up there with 2 years and ended up doing life.
Yeah.
So.
You said that you felt that you went to jail for the things that you didn't get caught for. Like, even though you were innocent for, like, what did you mean by that?
Oh, she be doing homework.
Well, don't be commit no perjury here.
That
okay?
was dope. Nah, but I meant I was in the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I had done all types. I was hustling. I had done robberies. I'm from the Bronx and the core of the ghetto where that was a way of life, especially when we was young. So there was a lot of stuff that I did I wasn't proud of. And, I just believe that karma eventually catches up to
right.
you. You get away, you think you get away with shit, and then somehow it just comes right back to you. So I believe, like, if a lot of stuff that I did, I probably would have never came home.
Right.
So, at the end of the day, when you look at 7 years, you look at it and say, yo, I didn't do this crime that I was convicted of, but you know that you wronged and did negative things that could have probably landed you behind bars for life.
Right.
So you look at it and you just weigh it and say, you just got to count your blessings and just continue to move on. You can't be bitter, because that's what a lot of people get. They get caught and stuck. If I would allow myself to get caught and stuck in what I think should have happened and looking at what I didn't make and what I was lost, I would have, went insane.
It's funny because it's you think about it. Flex plays your record. You're going crazy. Meanwhile, that could have been 10, 12, 14 years ago he did that.
Yeah.
So, it's just, to be honest with you, sometimes I guess what you're saying is so true. You got to live in the moment.
That's it.
You can't let the past, define your future.
Exactly.
Like sometimes I look back at my past and that shit depresses me, real talk. I'm like, damn, I should have fucking did some things different. But, one of the things I really like about you is your mindset, just to really just teach the youth, just to really explain to people, shit ain't all, it ain't all gravy.
Mm-hmm.
But when did you catch that mindset? Because I know when you're young, we're knuckleheads, we're running around, we don't want to hear nothing. You grew up with a mother and father?
My father died when I was 12 years old.
But one thing I like is that I heard you say that he told you some of the most important things, line that you ever, heard and stuck with you, and that was...
if you do the same thing, expect something different than you're saying.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
That's insanity.
If you think
Is
about
that-
if you do the same thing and expect something different, then you're insane. I mean, and that's something that stuck with you forever.
Mhm.
Now was he in the streets, Pops?
Yeah, my father was in the streets. He had the prison time. He was locked up since a juvenile. He actually died from a drug overdose. He was 32 years old, so he was deep, always in the streets.
Yeah.
So
Now what about mom?
my mother was addicted to drugs until like a couple of months before I got locked up. And then she's been clean going on about, I want to say 17, 18 years now.
Congratulations to mom.
So,
man.
But,
have you ever been able to rekindle some of that relationship that you didn't get a chance to when you were young?
yeah, I mean, my mother is like one of my best friends. Like I feel like I raised my mother. She went through tough times.
Funny.
And I had to be the man of the house, and it was all type of shit. I remember I had to fight drug dealers because I wasn't letting them take our food stamps, so we didn't have nothing in the house, or taking, they like, oh, she owed me this, well, you're not getting it because me and my sister got to eat. Like, it was a lot of things.
What gave you that courage?
I mean, I don't know. I just, I don't know where courage comes from. I don't know what not courage looks like.
Right.
So I can't tell you where I get it from. I just knew that it was the right thing to do. I know that my father always told me, you have to be the man of the house. You got to protect your mother. You got to protect. So that always stuck in my mind. So when I seen that they was in distress, her and my sister, whatever it took, I had to do it.
You feel like you missed your childhood? Because, from what you're telling me right now, man, you sound like a grown folk out of young folk.
I always had like an old soul, and and that's why I always felt like I was ahead of my time in certain, not to be,
No, I get it.
But I always, like, older dudes would always sit and talk to me because they was like, yo, you got a head on your shoulders and you listen. I always just gravitated to knowledge and just wanting to learn and just understand things, So I think I did miss one. For a lot of my childhood, I mean, I played basketball. That was like my thing that I did when I was young. Like, I used to just get lost in basketball, going to the park and be in the park till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Sure.
Digging, shoveling snow and still playing basketball. I was actually like really good.
Right.
That was one of my things I did before I just got in the streets.
Yeah, I can tell you, one thing I think is just, it's hard to really just, when you get stuck in the streets and you start hustling and, you start making quick money and you start taking, like all shortcuts, man. Honestly, it's hard to come home and live a regular life.
It is.
And you done that, and I've done that, and that's why one of the reasons that a lot of what you've done I admire. And you not only done that, but you trying to help everyone else. How did you, for the Million Man March, how did you even hook up with Minister Farrakhan?
Well, I'm a part of an organization called the Justice League.
Okay.
And the Justice League is an initiative founded by Carmen Perez, who is the executive director of the Gathering for Justice, which is founded by Harry Belafonte. That's his organization. And we had did a march called March to Justice, in which we marched from New York to D.C. for 10 days straight, with 3 pieces of state legislation to get laws changed, raising the age and demilitarization of the police, and I forgot the last law, but we marched and we sat down with Congress, and we did all that thing for that. And during that march, we had different churches and different faith leaders. We stayed at a mosque, we stayed at churches, we stayed everywhere. They put us up. It was probably about 50 of us that did the whole march, like all the way there. And there's a reverend, one of the founders of the original Million Man March, Reverend Willie Wilson. He stayed at his church. And our organization is very diverse. We have a Palestinian woman named Linda Sarsour that's like, she's badass. Like, she's like she's the Palestinian advocate. Then Carmen is Shakina.
Okay.
And then Tamika Mallory she actually ran Reverend Sharpton's NAN organization. She was the youngest executive director for his organization. So they're like, and then there's me in our leadership. And then we have white, we have every ethnicity in our organization. So when Reverend Willie Wilson, when we came and we stayed in, he was just like, dag, like this is a unified, this is unity. So when he was one of the first founders he was one of the organizers of the original march. So when the Farrakhan reached out to him, he said, I'm going to do the 20th anniversary. Who do you think that we need to get to organize?
Right.
So he realized that he wanted the Million Man March to be diverse. You know, he didn't want it to just be, okay, we're going to do just a bunch of black people. He understood if there was going to be change, it had to be diverse. It had to be all of us coming together for the same thing. And the picture in his mind was what our organization looked like. So he reached out to our organization to sit at the table in the planning of the march. So my sister Tamika Mallory was like the lead of it, and she was one of the organizers of the Million Man March, and I was in the leadership, so I was at every meeting. From the beginning, we went to his house, and we sit there, and I'm just in awe, just listening to him.
You're talking about Minister Farrakhan.
And Minister Farrakhan. And we was, for like 6 months straight, we went on like a tour, you know, and I was there just gathering information and just listening and just, you know, soaking it all up.
Did you chop it up with him yet?
All the time. Okay. All the time. Every time I got an opportunity. And
How did you introduce yourself to him?
I don't even remember. I just know I was in his house and I was just like, I'm just honored to meet you.
Yeah.
And he's such a humble guy. He makes it seem like you the person that he's honored to meet. And then, you know, he just would give me little pointers, and a lot of his people knew who I was, so they was like, this is the guy. He's like, you know, rappers are the gatekeeper of truth. You know, y'all are the leaders now. Y'all have the voice, you have the ears of the youth, and y'all have the ability to transform the nation.
Did you always think that you would find yourself in activism, Mike? Because you know you are kind of like an activist.
Pretty much, I'm definitely an activist.
No,
I call myself a raptivist.
You know
See, listen, you got to make it your own.
Like
you got to.
What do you think about D-Ray?
D-Ray, I like D-Ray. Now, you know, me and D-Ray have a little, we conflict.
It's like love-hate?
No, it's not really love-hate. It's my organization. When we did the March to Justice, you know, there was a lot of people that we invited to join on with us.
Right.
And his organization didn't really want to support us. You know, we had, and there was different reasons. It's just different grassroots organizations have different methods on what they use. We have, in the Justice League, we have an inside-outside team. Linda has political connections. You know, I'm from the streets. I'm just strictly grassroots. You know, Tamika's has political connections, but she's loud and will call you out in a minute. So a lot of organizations want to be totally against the system, not understanding that you can't really make change if you can't sit in a room and have a conversation. So there was a lot of different things when the Eric Garner situation happened and we did the march. The mayor wanted to sit down with our organization. So there was confusion saying that we was having backdoor meetings with the mayors. And so they were slandering us. Right. Talking about, oh, the Justice League does this and we don't want to support that. And you know, they were doing different things like that. And he was one of those people. So I always took that personal, you know, and then and they continued to do it. You know, the Black Lives Matter, the organization, not the movement, the organization really never supported us in anything we did. And, you know, and then I remember we'd be on panels and there was confusion, you know, so.
Did you just ever squash that out?
You know, we never really actually squashed it, but my friend Simone D. Sanders, who was on Bernie Sanders' campaign, she's like a real good friend of mine, and she organized the down in Brazil meeting, and he was there. And, you know, and I told her for her, I would be cordial. I really wanted to approach him and have a real, you know, pretty much debate, but I didn't want to do that in that sense. So, and then when we got there, I said what I had to say about organizations not being together, and then he said what he had to say, and you know, I pretty much realized he wasn't a bad individual. It's just that sometimes people just have different methods and views on things.
And points of views. I mean,
but I know he definitely does what he does.
Do you feel like because of that lack of support, that limited the success of the justice movement?
No, I don't really think I think it was successful. Like, you know, we had major support from a lot of the organizations. We had major press reported it.
Right.
You know, two of our laws actually got changed. So I think it was a major success, you know. But we actually got honored at Essence for being one of the
and you also got a chance to speak to the people, which actually people wouldn't know. They see you on YouTube, you know, the Million Man March. That was the 20th anniversary, right?
20th anniversary.
Your speech was phenomenal on there, but people wouldn't even know that you were being like rushed, or that like many people got squeezed out of not performing or not talking on mic that day.
Yes.
You know, and you were able to get yours in there. How was that possible?
Because, like I told you, I was at the table for every meeting, and I had.
So they made sure that you were gonna.
I had built a rapport with a lot of the head leaderships, like his sons and the people who were in charge of the program, you know. And when they start slicing and dicing people, I was told, you know, that they said, look, I have to say what I had to say.
Right.
And I had said some of this speech at a convening we had, and one of the head people in charge had heard it and said, nah, he has to be able to say that. Like,
Did you write this speech, or was it kind of like how you do your raps?
How I do my raps, you know.
Okay.
It was basically the minister's words. I just took what he had been preaching for the last 6 months and put it into the words for me. Like, I took everything that he said, what justice or else meant.
Right.
Because everybody kept saying, what is justice or else? What is the or else and all that? So I was like, okay, I want to be able to explain that. Like, I want to break it down to terms that people like me can get it.
Yeah. Or else, I think or else bothers people.
It does.
The way you put it. Or else, it's almost like Black Lives Matter. Like, it's funny how it's like, it bothers some people, you know? And it bothers people who don't get it. Because then that's why when people were saying Black Lives Matter and then people were saying All Lives Matter, they weren't realizing that people weren't counting Black lives. So how the fuck does All Lives matter?
Exactly.
So it's like, and or else was like almost like they were taking it like, what are you being sarcastic?
No, it's or else.
No,
it's
not
like,
meaning you. I'm saying
no,
that's how, because you were
saying.
like, and I love the way you approach it, like or else, like fuck you, and your shit is almost like like almost like Def Jam poetry, man. Like, you know, because it's like you're rapping, but you're saying something. You know, I'm gonna switch it back for a second. And for those who haven't checked out that Million Man March, check it out on YouTube. His speech, Mysonne, official tissue. But going back to let's go back to Remy for a second, man. You know, obviously they just went back and forth with CHEA. You know, obviously you're gonna say, you know, you representing the Bronx. You've seen Remy grow up.
Yes.
You know, what do you think about battle rap like that, especially between two women?
I mean, there is an element that you wish wasn't there, you know, but you wish there wasn't disrespect to where is, you know, you saying things that someone else might be harmed by, that really affects people.
Yeah. But
understanding that hip hop was founded on the battle itself is what hip hop was founded on. You understand what I'm saying? Just like boxing, it entertains people to see people box. You know, for the most part, when two fighters are at odds and they really don't like each other, it entertains people more. So understanding that, I understand that in this sport, you trying to win. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody's career. And if I'm going in the room and I'm boxing with you and I'm like, I don't really want to knock him out.
Yeah,
I don't want to hit him hard.
You may get knocked the fuck out.
You know, so you gonna get knocked out.
Yeah.
So understanding that and understanding where hip hop, you look at Ether and you look at, you know, all these things, you saying to yourself, look, if I'm gonna do this, I gotta do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is serious. So a lot of people like, oh, you know, she said a lot of disrespectful things. That might very well be true. Which at the end of the day, you as an artist understanding that when you put your life into the public, that people are going to utilize your life. You become a public figure. Whatever it is that you have, your secrets and all that can be divulged to the people. So that's part of the game. And a lot of people don't like that part. But I understand it. Just like battle rap. That's why I don't really want to do battle. Like I started doing battle.
Yeah.
But
Back
I don't
in-
want.
when
You
did
can't
you
be in
start?
my face and say certain things. You know,
'Cause you're gonna get tight, right?
My kids.
What's your sign?
I'm a Taurus.
Oh yeah, nah, you're not on your bullshit.
Yeah, you know, like
Like,
I
I'm not
don't.
gonna
I
accept
don't want to
this.
be involved in that. I get it. You know what I'm
But
saying?
you did battle rap back in the day.
Yeah, I did.
Didn't you battle Big L?
Yeah, we battled, but we wasn't talking about your mother and your kids and how we was just saying I'm better than you and we got guns that'll shoot you and you whack.
Sure,
and all
sure.
that. You
And
know,
the clothes that they were wearing.
And of
Yeah,
course,
you
you
know.
think you won the battle.
Oh, of course I won.
I feel like
Who else did you battle? Didn't you battle DMX?
Of course I did.
Now you
you won that one.
Of course I did.
You
I love you.
wait. Hold on. You were moving around with Rough Riders.
I
So
was
you were
mo-
moving out with Wah, right? Wadeen.
That's my big brother.
Now, let me
right
tell you
there.
something. I heard you say something before, and this is what I'll say about Wadeen. Shouts to Wadeen, man. I had a chance to sit down with that dude, man. What a smart, like this dude foresaw shit way before people saw it. But more so, you know what's crazy? He used to bring around all his artists and have them battle each other.
Yeah, him
that was
and him and you got D.
him and his brother.
His brother D. D is also like the math. Those is,
Yeah.
they two
D and Y.
P's- D and Y. D was like, you know what I'm saying? I remember D used to just pick me up in his truck and just drive me. And I'm young at 20 and he just sit me. We used to be right on the corner like 127th. I forgot the exact block. And he used to just park me in front of the parking lot, just sit me in there and be just talking to me for hours. You know what I'm saying? Out of nowhere. Or he'll just call me like, yo, where you at? They be right in front of the Apollo. He's park his truck, turn on the beats, and just have everybody battle. Right in front of the Apollo.
When's the first time you met DMX?
First time I met DMX was the day we battled.
How'd that go down? Like Wah just said battle him, or like how
No,
that?
what happened was I think D or Y called me because I had went to 125th Street a couple of days earlier than that, and he had some dudes out there, and I just tore their heads off for like an hour straight.
Do you remember
Never-
some of the shit you were spitting?
I couldn't remember that. That was like that.
What
was
were
in
your lyrics? Because
1998.
back then your lyrics were different than what they are now. A lot of your lyrics right now.
Oh, I was shoot 'em up, bang bang.
Okay, exactly.
Like
Yeah,
I was killing everybody. Like,
Yeah.
like it was to the point where I remember I had a battle somewhere. It was at before they closed Justin's when Puff used to have
Okay.
Justin's, and that was another spot like on Industry Night on Tuesdays. All the industry people would be there, be artists in there, and we go to the parking lot and dudes would be spitting, and it'd be execs there, so you could get a deal right there. So I remember the first time Puff was out there, and I was in there, and I don't know who I was battling, but I was going so hard that Puff called my manager and was like, yo, it's like he really like a killer. Like, do he kill people? He like, you know, because I really believe him. Like, you listen to him. I was just so raw and just so, you know.
Yeah. He was like, shoot that, shoot
Just
that.
shoot everything. Like, I would shoot him up, kill him, everything. So, and this how descriptive it was. Like, you was just so.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was my thing. That I was really into battle rap.
Now,
Well-
no, again.
As a battle rap expert, how long does Nikki have to respond, or should she not respond?
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna keep it a buck, right? Nikki can't really respond
Right.
because it's like you trying to brawl and you don't brawl. You brawling with somebody and you just a little regular boxer. Like, you gotta stay in your lane. You gotta pick the fighters that you can pick, that you know you can beat. That's not her forte. She's clever rapper, boom boom. She's not like a hardcore Remy. Like, I can't see her getting in that realm, getting the response that she wants. You know what I'm saying? She knows how to switch her flow. She does cute shit and all that. But to really battle, you gotta be able to come. You know what I'm saying? I don't think this is her fault. Maybe she could shock me because I said the same thing about Drake and Meek. Like, I didn't think Drake had a chance. I'm like, Meek is the battle.
Yeah, well, he
That's
came
what
from
did.
battle rapping.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Meek comes from battle. Like, Drake ain't going, this is easy money. So, you know, you could be shocked. But I'm saying, my personal opinion, I think her advisors are telling her, don't even do this.
Like kind of like say we're too big, don't even pay attention to that shit style.
Because they the one who probably advised Meek not to respond no more, and that's what happened to him. Because everybody's like, yo, why he not responding? I think she was like, no. Her publicist was like, leave that alone. You're gonna dig yourself into a grave. Just let it go. People forget about it eventually. You know what I'm saying? And you'll move on. But the thing with Remy is until they squash it, Remy won't.
Yeah, she won't stop.
Yeah, she's not like she's from that era.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the only thing I find crazy is that, like, if Nicki's ass really, like, fell down for 3 months, like, yo, honestly,
No, it wasn't that it fell down, but
if it broke up,
like the recuperation time.
But that shit don't even sound right. Imagine having a girl and it's
crazy.
like she's broken for about 3 months.
And
you know what I mean?
according to Remy, she wasn't giving up that mouth, dude.
Really? Okay. Well, shit. That's not our business.
Yes.
But that's not our business. But
that ass drop.
yo, back with DMX, did you form a relationship with him?
Yeah, but DMX was like one of my first mentors, man. Like he was the first person I ever smoked weed with in my life. The only person I ever smoked weed with.
Really?
I never smoked weed before or after DMX.
I don't know if that's good or bad. It turned you off from weed.
So
No,
He was like, this might be the gateway to this.
Do you still see him anymore?
Stop right now.
Do you still?
Last time I seen X, I don't know when the last time I seen him, but every time I see him, it's like a reunion. I remember the first time I seen him when I came home, we was at the Hip Hop Awards in Atlanta. And he stopped the traffic in the middle of the street, grabbed me, hugged me, like, yo. And he was performing that year. So I think I forgot what it was. It was probably like 2008, 2009. He was performing. He's like, yo, gave me tickets. Like, yo, what you need? Gave me a band. You know, so every time I see him, it's like,
yes, it's love. It's love.
You know, it's always love.
Even like somebody like Mace, then you knew him from a very young age, right?
Mace was.
How'd you meet Mace?
Well, my manager used to manage Mace.
Okay.
So when I first got in the game, like they still had a real good relationship.
Was he Murder Mace?
Yeah, he was always Murder Mace.
But what we
I knew Mace. Actually, I knew Mace from high school because I used to go to Martin Luther King, and he went to
LaGuardia?
No, he went to Manhattan
Chelsea?
Center.
Okay.
He used to go to Manhattan
Throw
Center.
some schools at you.
But what we see him, or what we seen of him, not meaning you, but what the public has seen of Mace was more like, it wasn't no Murder Mace.
Nah.
Now, was he official tissue like that?
He used to spit like
He's a spitter.
He used to spit Murder Mace shit. Like he was spitting Murder Mace, and then Puff told him, "Look, nah, you gotta spit for the ladies.
Pretty that up.
Gotta switch it up." And you know what I'm saying? But he always wanted to be Murder Mace. Like he was used to saying the street shit. He always was into the street shit. So,
would you ever switch it up for a certain amount of money?
I don't have to switch it up. Like, I know how to talk to girls. I know how to rap for girls.
But would you throw on a foil suit though?
I mean, it's just not. I don't think.
Start doing shoulder leans.
I don't want to sell that. You know what I'm saying? Not all the way. I'll throw on a suit because I look good in a suit. I know how to put a suit on.
I bet you do.
Yeah, I know how to put a suit on. I could throw a suit on and do what I do. You know what I'm saying? So I
got a birthday suit in the back. Go put that on.
Birthday? No, I tell you.
No?
First of all,
later.
listen. If you're from the street or you just a regular dude or you just
crazy.
whatever it is, invest in a suit. I will say
you
this.
Gotta.
You know why? Because if you don't invest in a suit as a man, you're not preparing for your future.
You giving them a half tip. Invest in the suit and get it tailored. That's what gives it that good look.
Well, I'm not saying
look.
Steve Harvey
but
suit.
Even if you get a cheaper suit at like Express or
just get it tailored.
Get it tailored and it looks so much better.
Especially when you fit your clothes right.
You gotta fit them clothes.
I work out, so when I put on a nice suit, you could tell. You know what I'm saying? So I realize that response is needed.
As we stay around the battle conversations, where we spoke about DMX, spoke about Big L. Didn't you battle Shyne before he even got put on?
Yep. When he first got signed.
Okay.
And
when Puff just signed him.
Puff had just signed him, and me, Nori, and Shyne was outside of Justin's.
Mm-hmm.
And he was rhyming with Nori. Shyne was rhyming with Nori, and I just peeked my little head in, and then I think Nori had heard me rhyme before. He's like, okay, we got another spitter here. So I just jumped in. Then Nori got out. Was like, oh, this is personal.
Really?
And then me and Shyne just started going. And I remember Nori's like, slow down, killer. You're trying to kill him, man. And I know that the whole talk of the industry was like, yo, he just killed Shyne out here. in front of Puffy's studio.
Now, as someone who came up battle rapping yourself, but you're not really a fan of like the sport of like where people want to come in your face, like how to do like the Smack DVD type shit.
Yeah, I don't like
because you would have probably got into a fight.
Yeah,
but more so, you're no filter. You tell people how it is. I know that with Trinidad James, you pulled him up when he said something about New York, right?
Yeah.
Even more so with Flex, with the most recent freestyle, that Future line, the way you did it was like classic because you even try to sound like him in this for a second. Somebody like him, you think he'll respond?
I mean, it's not about whether he responds or not. It's just whether I say what's real. That's what I always want to be authentic. And I think that's what's missing in music. I think that's what's missing in the industry, that we don't, there's no checks and balances. Everybody's going along to get along. There's a million artists that will hit me and be like, yo, you saying some real shit, that's the truth. But y'all sit around these dudes and let them mislead and lie.
Right.
Yeah.
Why do I gotta say it? Why you can't?
They're afraid.
Why do y'all peacefully coexist with bullshit? Like it's whack. They lying to these kids. That they misleading and they not really being who it is. But quote unquote they winning. So y'all just go along to get along. But then as soon as they lose, everybody gonna be like, oh nah. Say it when they winning. I respect that. Like call out some whack shit when they win. I don't care if you the toughest, the biggest artist or the smallest artist. If you doing whack shit and I think I need to approach, I'm gonna say something about it.
Now somebody like Future. I mean, is that something that you just came up with what you felt, or you were privy to some information that you feel he wasn't in the trap?
I mean, it's just a lot of information. It's just his whole everything contradicts itself to me. The way he moves is not in accordance to what I was taught real was.
Yeah.
Just even in the recent thing with the whole Scottie Pippen's wife thing.
Yeah.
The way he moves is just like it's whack to me.
You mean where he commented on the Instagram post? Yeah, that is.
Then you make his songs. Scottie Pippen don't rap. Like what are you doing? This is a legend, a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You that pressed, like it's so tough that you had sex with a girl? Like who don't do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you trying to gain? Because you said that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just whack. It's whack nigga shit. Like, no real nigga would do that. I've had sex with dudes, girls, and I'm not trying to disrespect you.
Or go on Facebook Live and say,
for what? Who cares?
This is what I did.
You not supposed to have sex. It happens.
But some of this, and you spoke about that on the Flex. Honestly, just if you break down the lyrics from the Flex freestyle, that could be an episode by itself. And, you spoke about how people, like, keep in mind, we're the type of people that, we grew up in an era where it's like you had to be about that life.
Facts.
The people growing up now, not saying everybody, but some people don't, follow
There's
those
no
rules.
criteria.
And keep in mind, there's like some people who consider themselves gangsters. That are taping themselves doing things. I say it all the time on the show. People are like, yo, we out here, I'm robbing a bank. What's up, Instagram? I'm robbing a bank. You see that? See that teller? I'm about to rob it. And I'm like, what? It don't make no sense. I don't understand what people are doing.
Dumbest shit ever.
But you know what it is? Social media has taken over. People rather get acknowledgement for what they're doing, you know what I mean? No matter what it is. Like I remember with sneakers, I seen somebody in some school. I remember one time, it was a couple of years ago. This dude took off his phone posits, was beating some kid up. They videotaped it. Kid got hurt. The phone posits are heavy as a motherfucker. But that kid's doing time now. You put it on videotape.
This is what
you're
they
showing.
taught.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Taught them that was cool shit.
Listen. I don't ever judge what anybody does, but why snitch on yourself? Why snitch on yourself?
That's my question. I just never understood.
And that's not old school shit. That's real shit.
Yeah,
because people want to say like,
that's the old. Nah. So you think it's cool to put yourself in prison? Like you think it's cool to talk about shit that you're doing that you know is against the law, that the feds, they got a social media task force.
Sure, all for that.
So it's like, what? You know how many dudes is in jail because of Facebook? Dudes like, yo, my man shot somebody, boom, boom, and we was talking about it on Facebook, and now we all facing 40 years. And I'm like,
how does that make you feel as someone that went to prison innocent? Like, these people are just putting something out there. And how did you, it's a two-part, sorry, because I don't know if it's going to happen after this. How did you prepare for prison to go so long?
I mean, I don't think you really can prepare. You just got to take prison one day at a time. There's no overall preparation.
Right.
I just think that when you get there, you realize this is my situation like anything. And I have to deal with the reality of what it is.
I agree.
You know, and you just realize this is my home, and I'm going to make this situation. I never adapted to prison. I made prison adapt to me.
Right.
I didn't go in there and say, "Oh, these are the jail rules." I don't abide by that. You can't make me deal with that. I deal with man principles.
You stayed neutral throughout the whole time there?
Oh.
I tell you, people try to like make you join a gang.
I'm
Like, yo, people try to, like, even on Rikers, I remember hearing you say this, but when I went to Rikers, I'll never forget, I wanted to call my daughter. My daughter was only like 3 years old. And I missed her so much. And they were like, oh, this is the blood phone. This is the Spanish phone.
And you can only use it from this time to this time.
And I was like, yo. So I just came out of the cell. I was in 5 North. I just came out and I went on the phone. And this dude came up to me and I was talking to my daughter. And I'll never forget this shit. And this dude came up to me and was like, yo, you got to get off the phone, my man. And I was like, and so I maybe like I didn't hear him. And my daughter's talking to me like, hey, why don't you take me to Build a Beer? And I'm like, honey, I'm going to take you. I just, I'll be home soon, da-da-da, I'm talking to him, realizing how fucked up I fucked up, you know what I mean? But at the same time, this dude's pressing me. And so I maybe like I didn't hear him. And then finally, when I did acknowledge him, I told him, like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you, come closer. And I took the receiver right off the fucking phone, jacked him up with it. Sent me to the box, 30 days for that.
What movie he said this was?
What? This ain't no movie. It's real life. But the point I'm trying to make is I had to make a point.
To do that.
I had to make a point because the thing is,
20 grand.
let me tell you something. Honestly, my blood was boiling because my daughter's on the phone, and this dude kind of was like, "Fuck your daughter," you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm talking to my daughter, my man. Give me a second. I can't hear you," and he kept on pressing me. But anyway, I heard you say how you just came out and were like, "Yo, you want to fight? You want to do whatever you want to do?"
Need to do. I need to get on the phone. So
yeah.
Who I need to do whatever, because we're not even gonna play this game with me.
Yeah.
So.
And you survived it, and you survived there 7 years too. And I'll tell you one thing.
Did you ever mess with a CO?
No comment.
7 years. I need to know what's going on.
He ain't committing perjury. Well, what about? Let me tell you. You know what's so funny? People think, and you give me your opinion. But when I went away, I didn't know what to expect. And you're right. I just lived how I live. I observed. I made sure I didn't fuck with too many people. But I'll never forget too, because people always tell me like, how could you do jail time? And I'm like, yo, honestly, don't do drugs, don't gamble, don't do no gay shit.
Yo, listen.
Unless
I was about to say, yo, I swear to God, you took the words exactly. Those are the 3 things that the OG told me. Don't do drugs, don't gamble, and don't fuck with no gay people, and you good.
Yeah, you can move. And I'm telling you, you can move. I don't give a fuck who you are. You can move. But I'll tell you one thing. It's funny because I mentioned this before, but I'm Italian, and I had this dude, Dominique. I didn't even know who he was, coming up to me. And he was like talking like, hey, man, how are you? I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing to me, man? And he's like, yo, I heard you're Italian, man. I'm Italian too. And he's like, ooh. And I'm like, oh, my God. Yo, so I turn around. Everyone in the fucking dorm is looking at me. So I'm like telling this dude, like, look, I don't care what you do, no disrespect, but get the fuck away from me.
Exactly.
Because let me tell you something.
Yeah, their niggas will cut you.
Yeah.
You'll be they'll stab you in your sleep because you fuck with the child. Because what happens is, in jail, wherever there's a homosexual, there is a problem. Mm. You know what I'm saying? The dude starts sleeping with the homosexual, they start fighting because he or whatever is sleeping with somebody else. These dudes start fighting.
They're cheating now.
The whole house is in uproar and nobody is comfortable inside the home. So whenever you see a homosexual come in your house, you got to stay away from them, or they usually get them out the house because they always cause confusion.
Didn't you run into one of those infamous people? What are they called? Pissy.
Pissy Black.
Pissy Black. Tell the interns who don't know about Pissy Black.
Pissy Black is a big black gay man, strongest man you'll ever see. This thing's like 6'7", 320, solid athlete. He played football, basketball, he boxed,
handball,
everything, and he was a booty bandit.
You was off in jail with what's his name? Dead Arm Row.
Dead Arm Row.
You was in the
they were
VIP.
Those
very important prison.
Those is the infamous booty bandits. Dead Arm Road used to just dead arm niggas and rape them.
Oh man.
Now you ran into Pissy Black,
He was
and then you said that he was he became cool with you, right?
Yeah, he became cool.
And then you found out. I like the way you approached that. Explain that to the internet.
Well, Pissy Black he was playing basketball. He was on our team, and he was phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Like this nigga scored 30, 40 points, and he was older than. By the time I met him, he probably was like almost 40,
right?
Whatever. But you could tell that he could have been a professional basketball player. So I was the point guard, and I used to give him the ball, and he used to just score. And he's like, good game, young point guard. And then I seen the nigga, I walked in the gym, and he's boxing, the nigga, he doing a speed bag, and he nice, but nobody really was talking to him much, so I'm just fresh up north. So I'm like, yo, how do you hit the speed bag like that? So he started showing me how to hit the speed bag, and I was getting nice with it. And then, when Burst told me, you know who that is? That's Pizzy Black, man. You know what he do? I'm like, what do he do? He said, yo, he a booty, man. He fuck with them boys, man. Like, he prey on, like, the young boys.
And you cute.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
He prey on the young boys, like, he be around. He start storing them, then he start fucking them. So you gotta be careful. I'm like, what? I said, oh, how did I get myself in? I'm 20, 21 years old. I just got up north. This thing is like 6'7" size.
Wow.
So my man was like, but he don't like them knives. Like, he'd knock a nigga out, but you get him a knife or a razor, he's scared of that shit. So sure enough, I went, my man had a razor for me, so I go to the gym. So he's like, yo, young blood, what's going on? I'm like, listen, man, you do what you do. I do what I gotta live here. Now, I don't want to hurt you, but I will. You know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, it ain't like that with you. You know, some of these sucker niggas, I'm like, all right, but out of respect, I got to live here, so me and you can't do this no more. He's like, nah, I respect you, young blood. I got a lot of respect for you. Carry yourself different. I don't be doing that shit to everybody. I do it to these young punks that come up here thinking they tough and they gangster. Those are the ones I do it to.
Those are the ones he laying the smack down.
You know what I'm saying? He said, but you carry yourself different, so I respect what you do. I don't want you to get caught up in my shit, but I respect. So, he respected
You have that energy.
So...
Yeah.
That's how I got drawn to you. Like, you have a really, like, strong energy. Like, it's something about your determination that is, like, so, like, honorable. Like, how I came about, I think you performed at, like, something in Harlem. It was, like, a justice rally. And then I was like, who is that? And they like, that's my song. You don't know who that is? I'm like, no. So then I started following you. And then when there was like an elderly woman who got murdered in the Bronx. Mm-hmm. She was about like 70. 66. She had mental health issues. Mm-hmm. And after that, because my breaking point for me, because I used to do a lot of blogging, that's how I came to you, because I was doing like entertainment blogging. So my mind for me was Sandra Bland. But then I saw you when you were protesting and going to this precinct every day because this lady was like brutally murdered by the cops. And in this video, when you showed up, the cop was like, you here again? And you was like, yeah, I'm here again. And I was like, that's so dope. And then that's when I went to Pete and was just like, yo, like, we got to get this man on. Like, this is ill. Like, there's so many other lyricists, rappers, models. Everybody's like caught up in their stuff. And you take the time out to even like fight for us. Our unity, our issues, like, and it's like we don't have that. Like, we don't have a Martin Luther King or a Malcolm X, or there's no new Farrakhan. So to have someone who looks like the youth, speaks their vernacular, can like hang out with them, let them drink and do what they do, but still like drop knowledge, I think that's so dope. Like, I think it's something that's like necessary for the culture. I feel like you're gonna cause a shift in what's happening.
What happened with that lady?
Well, they supposed to start an investigation, but I'm planning on doing another rally like outside of the DA's department because it's been about 6 months and we don't have anything. But I protested for 40 straight days. Mm.
And what they said, she said that she was telling me that they would say, you again?
Every day, and I'd be like, yep, and I'm gonna be here every day. Rain, sleet, or snow until this man gets fired, at least. Mm-hmm. It's crazy how the justice system works. This is a 66-year-old mentally ill woman who had a bat in her hand. She had scissors in her hand. 4 officers walked into her home because they said she was a threat to herself. Mm. 4 officers and the sergeant who shot her is supposed to be trained in dealing with a mentally ill person. This is a 66-year-old woman. They talk her into putting scissors out of her hand. She's in her home naked. You come into her home. She picks up the bat. Now, as a grown man, you can't take a bat from a 66-year-old woman without shooting her 2 times in the abdomen. Mm. then if you're not equipped to take a bat from a 66, you can't protect me.
Sure.
There's no way you not fit for this job.
Right.
You know, so I realized that they're being trained wrong, and they're not being having any accountability. When there's no accountability, then you can shoot somebody and say, "Oh, I feared for my life."
Right.
From a 66-year-old woman with a bat, you fear for your life. If your grandmother was running at you with the bat, would you shoot her 2 times in the abdomen?
Hell no.
Exactly. And I want to know. I keep asking them, how many elderly 66-year-old white women have been shot with a bat? I said, the reality is that y'all train them that we are animals. So that's why they treat us like we're animals.
You know, on the flex freestyle, man, there's so much shit you said. You said, you don't understand me. We was 3/5 of a man. So when they ended slavery, they had another plan. They said, we can't end slavery. It's too many residuals. So they can't call you slaves no more. They call you criminals. Sending you to prison, you're working for cheap labor. Don't listen to them rappers. They're trying to see some paper.
Facts.
Listen, we're going to take a quick break. Internet, we're sitting here with Mysonne, just breaking down just life, man. Life, bars, just up and down, man. Like, yo, you have a real life story, man. Real talk. Just about, like, you know, losing some things in life, you know, taking a slip up and then coming back but never giving up. And really just being here to help others. You know, most importantly, just bring light to situations. But Internet, so listen to the Premium Pete Show. Miss Lissa knows. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Cheer.
Ow.
Internet, you already know this episode is brought to you by the good folks over at College of Hip Hop. College of Hip Hop is a dope app. Listen, I fuck with it. It's very easy to navigate, features exclusive interviews from industry heavyweights such as Wendy Day. Wendy Day, listen, and it has blog posts, audio seminars on topics ranging from copyright to publishing to encoding, marketing, and many, many more subjects.
The College of Hip Hop is a premier learning platform for entertainment education. You can get some outlines on contracts and everything you need to start your own business in the music industry.
Listen, download the College of Hip Hop app today. It's available across all app platforms for free. Free 99. Listen, you don't like free 99?
I definitely do. And if you guys like it, make sure that after you download it, you rate, review, share, and tell a friend to tell a friend.
Listen, tell them the fucking Premium Pete Show sent you. Tell them Miss Lissa knows sent you. Download the College of Hip Hop app today. Internet, let's get back to the show. Cheer.
Ow.
Internets, and we're back. Yo, you know one thing we forgot to say with Pissy Black? Now, he was a homo dude in jail, but what he did was, why did he get his name Pissy Black? He used to piss on the dudes after he raped them?
Yes,
That's
he
disgusting.
did. That's why they called him Pissy Black.
That's disgusting.
So he would prey on someone, rape them, right, and then piss on them afterwards?
Yep.
Hey, listen, every Sunday needs a cherry on top.
I think that's disgusting.
Yeah.
That man was out his mind. Pissy Black was out his mind.
But you know what? As we continue here, what do you got going on as far as, like, you got a mixtape and an album dropping soon?
I have album / mixtape about to drop. I'm doing BB King's
The 25th?
March 25th.
March 25th.
So I'm planning on dropping it on that day.
Okay.
So it's so much like my freestyle, you know. It's called The Definition of a G Part 3 because I did the other 2 is mixtapes that I did, but it's called OG Bobby Johnson. And if you know South Central and you know the real story of OG Bobby Johnson, not like he just a gangster. Like, if you understand his mentality,
Right.
you know, he went to jail believing for the set, gave up most of his life for the set, and then realized that the whole shit he almost lost his life for wasn't about nothing. They was trying to take his kids and put his son in the same position he was. So he came home to pretty much fight for his son and get him out of that way of life. So that the title just really symbolizes my mind state. Like, I'm fighting for my kids. Like, I lost a lot of time. I lost a lot of energy,
Sure.
a lot of all types of shit for believing in a dream and a fake reality that they sold me in these streets.
You know, you spoke about, first of all, you Family Guy, you got 3 kids, 3 boys, right?
3 boys.
Man, thank God, man. You know, sometimes, like, when you run in the street and you get a daughter, I'm telling you from experience, like, damn, man, you got to move
Daughters
a different
take
way.
care of you when you get old, though.
Well, I guess
Them
so.
sons gonna be out as soon as they get a wife.
Yeah, they get a new snapback
they
or a
gonna be
dad
done.
hat.
They gonna be like,
But speaking of family and just being there, you know, and just, you know, growing them up, you know, you speak about, like, different things that you want to see You know, especially for like how you spoke about. Hold on the flex style you spoke flex freestyle you spoke about. I burn down mics and I fight for civil rights. I'm trying to give blacks same shit they give to whites. Right?
In fact.
Now, what are some of the things that you want to accomplish or you want to see? You know,
I want our communities to be so much more unified. I want us to own our communities. I don't think that you should live somewhere 30 and 40 years and own nothing and watch other people come into your communities and profit off you. We as Black and Hispanics are the only ones that allow that. If you go to any other communities, if you go to the Asian communities and you go to Jewish communities, they own everything in their community.
Sure.
You can't come from outside and own anything in their communities because that's how they were taught to keep their wealth, you know, and that's the only way to create intergenerational wealth and continue to build things, you know.
What are the steps that to take to do that? Because even in the Million Man March, you spoke about how you were saying that we need to like, you know, unify instead of kill each other, or you mentioned about how a lot of blacks kill each other. You know, do you still feel that same way? Because that march was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was over a year ago. It was actually October of 2016.
Okay, so like a year and a half.
So the reality of the situation is, if you put anybody in the conditions that we are in our community, there will be violence.
Sure.
Poverty is violence.
Right.
That's just the bottom line.
It fuels violence.
It fuels violence. It really is violence. If you hungry and you don't have anything, that is an act of violence. If the people who put you in a position, there is Martin Luther King used a quote from a famous person named Victor Hugo, and he said, "Where there is darkness, there will be sin. But the guilty party is not the one who commits the sin, it's he who creates the darkness." And when you think about it, we committing a sin, but somebody put us in a position where it's darkness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So understanding that most of our community and the people in our community just go to work every day with no understanding of the economy.
But they also they put things in order to hold us back. Like, it's easier for a black man or a black person to get a loan for a car than a loan for a business.
Exactly.
So it's just like...
So what happens is we have to pool our resources.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you think about a project, think about how many apartments in a project. If everybody in that project said, look, we're going to put $100 into a fund every month. We're going to buy this first store here. We're not shopping at none of these stores until we own them. We boycotting this whole community. We don't own none of it. We're not shopping there. They got to close the store. So when that store closes, we invest our money in that store. We buy that property. And then the next store, we do the same thing until we buy back our own block. Now, the kids ain't got to sell drugs on the corner because now they got a shift that they work in the store down the block. You understand what I'm saying? And we continue to build that. And now they own stocks and they own pieces of their own property. We're able to build. But nobody's teaching us. Nobody's sitting down and having forums like that to explain to you that it's not that hard. You can buy property with a little bit of percent there.
So what are you gonna do? It's you.
That's what my goal
What do we need to do? I'm here to help you. Let me know.
What I'm trying to say is that's what my plan is. My first thing is to do it in my community. I'm from the Bronx in the hybrid section, and we got a whole strip of stores none of us own. You know, in a few months when I'm able to financially say, okay, I'm putting this much. I'm doing this. Right now, I'm working with this organization called Credit Concepts. A couple of my brothers, they opened a store in Castle Hill in the Bronx in which they teach you about credit. They teach you, they repair your credit, everything, and they help you build your credit up, and then they help you invest it in everything. These are young brothers. One of them was incarcerated, and you know he changed his life around. A couple of them were just been doing real estate since they was like 16, got 20 and 15 properties. You know, so they one of them worked on Wall Street. So we're doing a campaign now in which I'm signing up 100 formerly incarcerated people to fix their credit and showing how when you fix the credit of someone, they're less likely to return to be incarcerated because now they have credit.
Because they have opportunities.
They have an opportunity. So, you know, I'm going to do it for free. We're doing 100. I want to donate a certain amount of money, which will accommodate 100 free formerly incarcerated within the last year or two, formerly incarcerated, and we're going to follow their progress. We're going to fix their credit. We're going to help them build their credit. We're going to show them how to invest their credit and utilize their credit to get things that are going to create wealth. So that's a campaign that I'm about to start. And then after doing that, I want to just literally, like Rick Ross got a song called "It's Time to Buy Back the Block." Like that's what I want to do. I want to buy back the block. I want to create Black Wall Street again and continue to, because we live in these communities.
Sure.
How we don't own nothing?
Sure.
Don't make no sense.
No, you're
Makes
right.
me
When
sad.
you really think about it, and you think about all these other, nationalities that do this type of stuff. Like even like coming tonight to, tape in the city. People don't know downtown by Chinatown. You think about it. Everything is there's no Italian pizzeria in there.
No.
There's no. They're not put. Let me tell you something. If they put a KFC in Chinatown,
They
it's
got
gonna
Popeyes,
have
they got
no.
Popeyes.
If they do, it's gonna have Chinese lettering on it.
No, yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
You're
So what
right.
I'm saying is, you could take that, in so many ways. But in my mind, you're right. Like take it and let's do that. For what we're doing and the people
there's
that we
nothing
care
wrong with
about and our neighborhoods. No, so I
These kids
respect
don't got
that.
no jobs and they selling drugs on the corner, and they probably making less than they would if they had a shift in the store, the night shift, or
Yeah.
they worked 4 or 5 hours in the company business. We don't have that reality.
In the Flex Freestyle, you also spoke about how people were charging your back. What was that line you said where the street, when you went away, they were charging you?
I said what I said. I said I had too much smarts, and niggas wasn't as smart as me. Then I did 7 up north for armed robbery and realized the so-called gangster niggas lied to me. They threw a battery in my back. They was charging me. I'm catching charges. The lawyers is overcharging me. I got these bozo CO niggas in charging me. I was nice with my hands, so the bigger niggas was charging me.
See, when you said that, it's funny because it's like we, hustling. I tell people all the time, there's kids right now hustling in front of their building. Just say if it's crack or whatever, heroin, whatever the fuck it is.
Not heroin.
Hey, listen, heroin is
That-
Heroin
humongous.
is one of the biggest drugs
Yeah.
sales in the hood. You crazy?
They're hustling right now just for an
thought it was
outfit,
allowed.
outfit and a pair of shoes.
The loudest.
You know that, right?
Allowed.
My son-
Yeah, that's all they doing. They
but what
hustling
I'm saying,
for
when they get
sneakers.
locked up, they're
They
lost.
don't got nothing.
They don't got
got
nothing.
no lawyer money. They don't got nothing. They don't own nothing. They haven't left anything for the kids you saying you trying to protect. You now somebody else got to. You completely out the game. You
But
ain't
one thing I
sacrificed for
noticed,
anything.
and I feel like you're so eloquent in your delivery, but anytime I try to speak to younger children, the younger generation, they look at me like I'm crazy. They don't really want to hear it. Do you feel like you get that same response, or do you know how to counteract that?
I think that's one of my strong points. I think that's something that I always focused on. Because as a young kid, there was a lot of people that wanted to deliver a message to me, and I realized the ones that I gravitated to was the ones that I felt like I can identify with. You understand what I'm saying? So I think when they said Jesus came as the people, I come as them. I dress like them. I talk like them, but I give them the reality. I'm not, like I tell them every time, I'm not here to preach to you. I'm not here to change you. I'm just trying to let you understand the reality. I'm letting you know that there's sharks in the water. Now, if you decide you put your hand in it, that's up to you. But my job is to let you know that it's there. Like I tell everybody, I'm not telling you don't be in the streets, don't hustle. Because if I don't have an alternative for you, I can't tell you not to do something. But I'm telling you the reality of that act. That's all. That's what I'm here to do. And if I can help you change your mind state, and I can do something to help you, I can. But I want you to understand that when you in these streets and you hustle, the reality is that you either gonna go to jail or you're gonna die.
Right.
There's no anything else they telling you is a lie.
That's
I can
kind of
guarantee
back
you that.
to what your dad said. Because something about you that's really inspiring is I said, you're relentless in your pursuit, you don't give up. And something that you say your father taught you was if you keep doing something and expecting the same outcome, you're insane. But you go to the precinct, and how do you or even hitting Flex up to go to do the freestyle? How do you make your mind say, I'm not gonna get the same outcome? I'm gonna keep this pursuit and not
it's called
get knocked
persistence
down.
breaks down resistance.
Right.
You know, when my father gave me that quote, it was, if you keep jumping in the water and think you know, and you can't swim, and you think that you're gonna just float every time, then that's just dumb. Like, you got to learn how to swim. You got to do something different. If you jump in the water and you don't wave your arms, you're going to drown.
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying? So now, okay, I jumped in last time. I didn't wave my arms, almost drowned. Now I got to wave my arms. You know, you got to continue to do something. Every time I went there, I understand that I was building more and more people was following. The word was getting out, and it was putting more pressure on them to have to deal with what I was talking about. The news was coming out there. So I was doing the same thing, but the result was, it was always more and more. Every time I looked online, it was more people paying attention. It was more people advocating for what I was doing. So the persistence of what I was doing was breaking down the resistance. It was bringing this reality to the light, you know what I'm saying? Just like with Flex. I knew as long as he didn't tell me no, if you don't tell me no, then you locked in.
Right.
Because if I say, yo, you gonna do something, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. You locked in with me. You gotta tell me no.
He's like, you're gonna deliver on your
that's
fucking
it. You gotta
on
tell
your promise.
me no. And a lot of people, they don't want to tell you no. They're not gonna tell you no. They just hoping that you just gonna forget about it. I'm not gonna forget about it, especially when it's something that I'm passionate about. You gonna have to tell me no. I tell people all the time, I could take no, but I just can't take yes when you mean no.
But how
you gotta tell me no.
But how do you move past the politicians in this game? Meaning, when I say that, like, this game, so you're a street dude. I can say, you know, I consider that. Even though you change a lot, I still consider.
I'm still street oriented. Yeah.
Me too. And the point I'm trying to make is, funny style people make me like, man, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to bother. Like, you could have gave up on Flex and felt like he was abusing you. Or felt like he was like trying to think like you a sucker.
But the thing is, I started to understand the mind state. Everybody is not from where I'm from. They don't come from that.
And they don't
same
think
cloth.
like you think.
And they don't
too.
even think like I think. And the industry is so used to the industry talk. You'll call me tomorrow. That's a normal thing. So what happens is, all right, I'm not gonna get mad when I know you don't really mean it, but what I'm gonna do now is force you into meaning it. Because once you tell me something, that's how I say you locked in.
Yeah.
You gotta tell me no. Every time I see you, I'm not gonna just forget it, because that's what they hoping that you forget about it. I'm not gonna forget it. I'm not even gonna be mad at you. I'm not gonna press you so you can be like, oh, he's on some bullshit. He bringing the street. No, I'm gonna smile with you like, yo, when we doing it, you said we gonna do it, right? Every time I'm gonna call you until you be like, let me just get this thing out the way. I got to get him out the way, or I got to say, yo, I can't. But all right, cool. I'm good with that, but you can't tell me yes and me no, because now you locked in. I'm going to see you every time. I'm going to call you. I'm going to text you. You're not going to just be able to just ignore me.
You know what I learned, too, is, you know, obviously, you, like I said, you know the music industry. Shit is kind of shady at times. You know, and what I definitely learned is you can't take shit personal.
You can't.
Like, and the way I grew up, I took a lot of things personal.
Me too.
People would do something funny style, never fuck with them again.
Yeah.
But I learned you can't take shit personal
Not
in this industry.
Nope.
You'll never win. You'll never win.
Never.
You know?
I came home and had all these friends and people, yo, we're gonna do this for you, Mice, and they didn't do it. And I remember I was spazzing on niggas, like, yo, you said you was gonna do something. And he was like, yo, what you mean? I'm like, what you mean you don't know what I mean? You said you was gonna do this, boom, boom. Yo, and I was like, and I realized people just is like, yo, this thing crazy. I'm not crazy. You say you're going, what's wrong with me? I'm like, and then I started realizing these people, they're not from what I'm from.
Yeah, sometimes passion is taken the wrong way.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so they're not from where I'm from. So I got to realize I got to deal with them differently. I got to figure out what makes them tick. I got to understand how they move and then be able to adjust, you know, and I had to make adjustments. And now I don't even hold any industry person to anything. But once you tell me something, I'm not going to stop till you tell me no.
When you went away, was there someone who surprised you? Like, I know a lot, like,
there's a bunch of people that
surprised you in the sense of like where they did things for you.
Yeah.
Because you know it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Meaning like there's people obviously you like, yo, damn, I can't believe they forgot about me. Yeah. Supposed to be my homie. Yo, it's sad because going to jail isn't the most greatest thing in the world, obviously, but you will find out who the fuck is there for you in those hard times.
That's right.
And then you'll be surprised by certain people.
Who's not?
Anybody surprised you?
A lot of people.
Yeah.
You know? It was a couple of people that.
Are you cool with 50?
Me and 50 got it. We cool.
I seen him because I was when I went to your Instagram, I seen you had this freestyle up, and I seen he was right there. I guess to show like I don't know if it shows with the comment, and he was in there saying something up to you or some shit like that. You know, how'd you build that relationship with 50?
Me and 50 go way back. Like we started at pretty much the same time when he was fine with Jam Master.
Oh, that's right,
Jay,
that's right. Yeah.
And he was being managed by my man Chaz.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chaz was like his first manager, so, and Chaz was like family. So we went back to all of those days before he even dropped Power to Dollar. Like I remember I was coming out first, like, and me and 50 sat in Jam Master J's studio for like an hour just going back and forth freestyling with each other. You know, so we always had a rapport, you know.
Did you foresee him to be what he is today?
Of course not. I never. I thought he had good music. You know, I remember when he first had the Power to Dollar and he had the Ghetto Quran, like, you know, and then it was a lot of conflict because Chaz, his old manager, was my man, and then they fell out. So then I had kind of like, all right, well, if you ain't fucking with Chaz, I don't fuck with you. I met Chaz to you. So, and then, you know, we go through a situation. But I came home and, you know, we never had like no real issue or nothing. And, you know, a lot of people used to compare us all the time. That was like the main thing. When I got locked up, if in one of his first songs, he was like, the Bronx niggas love me like I'm Mysonne. Because a lot of people used to always say, yo, you remind me of Mice.
Yeah.
So, you know, I always used to hear that, like, yo, 50 just ran with your stuff. I'm like, but I'm in jail, like, you know.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And you got locked up at like the height of your career, like
Well, at a height of a
held the
chance.
project-
chance of
the-
a career, like my project.
the project was right there, like
Yeah.
You know, if you think Chris Whitey would have, if you would have took that 1 or 2 years, you think they would have stuck with you? Because obviously
Of course.
they couldn't stick
You
with
can't
7
wait
years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Nah. I think he but yo, all the way up to probably like 3 years, all my appeals, they were still here.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? They paid for my appeals, like 2 appeals. I had.
Chris Whitey and them? He even sent you commissary and shit like that? Yeah.
if you knew who did it, would you have said something?
Of course I knew who did it, but I still wasn't gonna say nothing. It's the code that I
Tell
live
him
by.
to Tommy. Too many Tommies, not enough Ghosts.
Yeah.
But Ghost.
But even
Well, you
Ghost
got
is
an
a rap.
Android just like Ghost.
No, but hold
so
up.
you
Hold up.
almost
He said in the Flex Freestyle, he said, too many Tommies, not enough Ghosts. But Ghost, what'd you say?
Ghost is a rat, and I live by the code, so I ain't co-signing that. You know? People don't even realize that. If you watch, Ghost is a snatch. The whole picture from his whole empire is he told on 50.
That's a
He
fact.
told on 50. Then he was telling on the other nigga. He tried to get him locked up, called the police on him. Like,
You should make an appearance on Power. I can see that. At least one
Definitely.
episode,
tell
2
Fifth, tell
episodes.
Fifth I need to be there. I told him that already.
Well,
Yeah.
get another campaign going. You good at those.
I told him. I said, yo, Fifth, I need to be on Power.
Yeah, you need to get the
Hold
campaign.
on. He's like, yo, he said he was doing the BMF. He said he had told me prior. I had ran into him. He thought he was doing that. He had a whole nother thing he was doing that he wanted me, you know. And I had his number. I lost my phone, so
Right.
couldn't even call him no more. So I'm gonna have to reach back out to him. I gotta go on it. My Instagram and say, yo, Fifth, DM me your number so we can talk.
Yeah. That's a good build with him. You can
And
build
now,
with
in
him.
hindsight, what would you do differently? Or do you have any regrets?
I mean, I don't think you can have regrets. I just think that you just look at it and you see everything as a learning experience. To live with regrets is just like, it's wasted energy. You know, everything, God makes the situations. And
Right.
whatever position you are is exactly where God wants you to be at. You know, I don't think I would be as conscious of I am. I would probably be rich and famous and a dope rapper, but I don't think my mentality, you know, would be where it is now. I was always pretty much grounded. Yeah, you know, I was always pretty much grounded, coming from humble beginnings, like pretty much having nothing. So that was always my thing. Like, you know, I want to represent, I want to speak for the have-nots and, you know, always be humble. But at the end of the day, I don't think understanding this system, understanding how dirty this shit is, and understanding the realities that we deal with as blacks and, you know, and minorities in America, and realizing how serious it is. You know, I don't think that I would be that focused on that. I think I would be in my own little world with my money and worried about me and my family and being, you know, good to those people. But I don't think it would be a worldwide mentality and to fully change the lives and mentalities and structures of everybody.
How have you enjoyed parenting? You know, because, you know, you grew up basically being a father at a kid. As a kid age, you were basically the father to your mother, which is weird.
It is weird.
But what I'm saying is, how have you enjoyed, you know?
I love being a father. Like, my sons, like, they depend on me. And my 5-year-old is so much like me at his age. Like, he's just having a good time. He's like emotional, but he's so smart. You know what I'm saying? So watching him, I'm like, yo, this is me when I was his age. So when you really, my first son, I was locked up until he was 8 years old. So I didn't really get to watch this stage, like this stage up to 5, and just watching him mature and seeing him grow and being able to mold who he is and his mind up into these certain ages. Like, these are very important times for him. So watching these kids grow and watching my 3-year-old every day learn new words. And he called me Mysonne today. Like, he usually called me daddy. And I went to pick him up from the babysitter, and he was like, Mysonne. And I said, what?
You better call me daddy.
It blew my mind. And he just looked at me. And he said, daddy. I said, what's my name? He said, daddy. I said, no, what's my name? What you said? And he looked at me.
Yeah, he thought he was in trouble?
He said, Mysonne. I just started laughing. I'm like, just to see those things, like those moments. And my son, he's 5-year-old, and I got him playing chess, and like,
that's good.
Just things like that. Like, I always wished that happened to me, or I wish I wanted to do with my oldest son. So.
But you know what? You give it to them, and I tell you, it's a beautiful feeling.
It is.
And especially when you been through so many trials and tribulations like yourself. That's how I feel about it. There's no manual to being a parent or a father, particularly.
No.
But what's some of the gems you could give future fathers or fathers right now that are raising some boys? Is there anything that you have done that you feel is a success to it?
I mean, like, I have a 19. Okay. My son just turned 19. So I had him when I was a baby. So, you just, what I say is that you have to just be honest with your kids. Like, you have to be, like, me and my son are like on a really good page. Like, through his whole life, through mistakes or whatever, I was always honest with him. And I used to always say, everything I'm telling you, one day you're going to tell me I was right. Because I know what I'm talking about. So, and I think we had a real good space in his life now. He's growing. He's into music. He's actually a dope rapper at 19. So
he wants to get into business.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like, I'm actually helping him with his stuff, and him and my little brother are coming up. So it's like pretty much we doing some no limit type thing.
That's dope.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, but what I would say is be honest with your children and not be afraid to be firm. I think there's so less, manhood is not really celebrated no more. And I think people move away from it, or masculinity. And I pride myself on my masculinity. And I don't mind seeing boys masculine and being tough.
Right.
Everything is not, talk to your son like he's a man. Like, talk to him with a level of aggression. Talk to him, make him understand there's nothing wrong with having passion. And being aggressive. That's something that you can be, and I think that's taken away from men now. It's nothing wrong with a man crying, or we need you to soften side, and that's cool. That's where the balance is. And I think in households, the fact that a lot of households, there aren't a lot of men.
True. That
you can see that in this generation. Yeah. Even the way they dress, the way they talk, this over thing with, the way the fashion, everything is too much for me. You know what I'm saying? So as a parent, I'm saying let's teach men to be men. Let's teach women to be women. There has to be a reality to where you can tell the difference.
When's the last time you cried?
The last time I cried?
Was it when you were away?
No. I'm going to say the last time I cried was, they had a many Rivers to Cross concert. And Harry Belafonte did, I think it was a few months ago. And it was in Atlanta. And it was like a bunch of activists and artists came together, and they put on this real big concert in Atlanta. And Common and John Legend was performing that song that they have.
Oh yeah.
And in the back, they were showing all the people being hung as slaves. Yeah. They were showing Sandra Bland, and I'm sitting in front of the stage, and I just broke down crying. Like, I felt like a little kid. It was just like, damn, like, look at the shit we dealing with. Like, this is real. This ain't like the movies and you watching Martin Luther King and you ain't really there, and you like, this is real. Like, I've watched this happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that shit, like, it broke me down. Like, I was in front of the stage crying like a little kid. Prior to that, like, when Trayvon you know, like that verdict, I remember just really just breaking down. Like that's what activated my activism.
I mourn for
Yeah,
Trip.
like
I mourn. Like,
I feel like
my mother had to stop me. Like, Melissa, like you're going into something. Like I cried for days.
yeah, like I was broke.
For
I
days.
was broken. You know, what I'm
Like
saying?
I cried for days.
You know, it's when you think about, you know, like crying and stuff like that, man. I'll be honest with you, I don't do it enough, but you know, I remember when I was away, man, I was able to cry because I reflected a lot, and that shit really just helped me,
Yeah,
man.
hell yeah.
Like, you know,
you
like-
feel like so much lighter.
Yeah.
Like you holding. And us as men, we taught to hold so much things in and not
Especially
deal with.
black men.
Yeah, definitely.
The light skins could cry.
Yeah, so you know we gotta get that out sometimes, even just by yourself or whatever. But you gotta get that energy off you. You just
Yeah.
got to. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm lying to you. The last time I cried was last weekend. I was going through so much. Like my wife, I was dealing with just a lot of stress, man. You know, just a lot of weight on your shoulders. You know.
Funny, people see, you know, Flex Freestyle, things that
Yeah,
they think
everything.
everything's looking good.
And I was just
you know.
dealing, but prior to like this was
Yeah.
like right before the Flex Freestyle. It was on, I think it was Sunday morning, and I was just dealing with a lot of stuff. I just felt stressed. I'm like, you know, I'm doing this music stuff, I'm doing activism, I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm trying to balance my family, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna be financially stable and all of this stuff, and then I'm trying to push this music. And it just was overwhelming me. Well, my wife is like, you're not home enough, and you're not here with these kids, and then I'm like, damn, I'm not doing enough with this music. The song is going how I'm pushing to the next level, and what I'm gonna do, and I'm just stressed. And she's like, yo, you need to just relax. And then her mother came to the house, and she was like, we going somewhere tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, well, where we going? I'm not telling you, don't worry about it, you just going. So we get up early in the morning, her mother's there, she's watching the kids. I'm like, all right, I'm on my Facebook Live like, yo, listen, I don't know where my wife is taking me, but if I don't come back, you know, I did not commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? So I'm laughing and joking. So, you know, we drive for about an hour and we pull up to the cemetery where my grandmother was buried. And I hadn't been there in 10 years.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? She knows like my grandmother was like, that's my rock.
Right.
Like she was everything. Like every time I think, like that's my motivation. And she died 2 months before I came home. She died March 7th of 2006. No, she came March, April, May, June. I came on July 4th or 5th. So she died 4 months before I came home.
Damn.
And she did this whole bit with me. Like I call her every night. She would know how to do the sneak 3-way calls. And I would get caught. Like I trained her and everything. So, you know, this is my road dog. Like since I was a kid, she always was like, do your own thing. That was her main thing. Do your own thing. Don't let nobody tell you what you could do.
Right.
You could do anything in this world. So she always did that for me. Like, so that was my rock. So my wife brought me to my cemetery, and I was just sitting there and I was just crying like a little baby, just sitting there talking to her, but I felt so much better.
Yeah.
And it just like that gave me the energy. Like when I went to Flex, I took all that with me. Like she had a conversation with me and told me it's gonna be all right.
Do your
You know
own
what I'm
thing.
saying?
Hey,
do
listen,
your thing.
what that Flex Freestyle, honestly, I'll be honest with you, it looked like
I was so excited when I saw you post that. Like, I was just like, yes, like, he was up there, yes, and yes. Like,
No,
I
you-
was just so excited.
you know what it looked like he had fire in his eyes. And it looked like you yo, I have nothing to lose and I'm gonna leave it all on right here.
That was it.
And anyway, internet, let's go to our segment, I Don't Trust People. It's back. We missed last week. Last week we forgot to fucking do it.
We didn't forget, but
Nah.
we was having a mamate moment with Pun's family. So
Yeah.
it just got like
Big
real.
Pun's wife, Liza
'cause
Rios,
then, the
first
stars
born.
started
Shout out to
coming out of
Liza.
her shell. So it was just a good episode.
So let me explain to you. This segment is called I Don't Trust People. It's people submit hashtag I Don't Trust People. Let us know who and what they don't trust. People submit it. Who we got this week?
Our first submission comes from OG Fly Bully. I don't trust men who wear chokers.
Hey, listen, you know, it seems like a new fashion statement now for a lot of these.
I feel
you
like
know?
it's coming back because remember when grunge in the 90s was popping and men would wear mesh shirts and chokers?
Well, the only thing I would say is that I remember like back in the day, I remember like herringbones. Remember the herringbones of my son and the rope chains?
Herringbones is not exactly a choker. The herringbone was,
But it,
you know,
I'm
it
saying
still
that's the
hung. It had a
closest.
little,
Yeah, it had a little drop to it.
and it wasn't. If the little ones, we wasn't really willing the little ones. Nobody wasn't wearing no little herringbone.
Except for money-making Mitch.
Yeah,
he had a little one. He had he had that.
Well, I agree with him because you know what? I don't trust anybody who's trying to choke their Adam's apple, man. Don't do that to
A little
yourself.
light choke is okay.
Oh, well.
Our
A
next
light
one
choke,
comes from
this lady
Torture 007. I don't trust people that surround themselves with lackeys.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you are who you surround yourself with, man.
Facts.
You know, so we agree with her.
I do too.
100%.
I don't like that. And then this one comes from RCH89. I don't trust people that wear dirty glasses. No, who don't. I don't trust people who know their glasses are dirty but won't clean them.
Yo, I see so many people like that, and I'll be honest with you, from my experience, it's usually people who are rich. People who like do things that like you would never figure.
Sometimes my sunglasses be a little scuffed. I'm not even gonna hold nobody up because like when you see me with my sunglasses, I feel invisible. So it's not even about like what you think.
Yeah,
it's just about me being in my skin because that's just what it is.
But you gotta
sunglasses
clean
at night
it
in
up.
the club. No, like sometimes you don't notice because you just having that moment, like you just in the moment.
Okay. Well, be in the moment.
Don't trust me, but it's okay. This next one, you're not going to trust me either. So this one comes from A.K. Easy. I don't trust people who kiss their kids on the lips. I'm guilty. I'm not even gonna hold anybody up.
Hey, listen, I thought only the Spanish girls did that. Spanish moms.
Mi ex-novio, ex-puertorriqueño.
Yo, let me tell you something.
Definitely might kiss.
My
and
ex-wife.
it's not all the time because she asked me about it. I was like, okay, maybe it's a little weird now because she's asked me about mouth kisses. I was like, I don't want to call it a mouth kiss. Like, let's not call it that. But didn't that grown man kiss his dad?
I don't know. As long as just don't put no tongue in the fucking.
This is my
just don't
thing
put
with
no
that
tongue
because
in
it's funny that we even said that today because I was thinking about that because she asked me
people
about it.
Crazy, man.
Okay, so if you have your child, to you, you're gonna always have that same age gap. So if you had your daughter when you was 18, when she's 1, you're gonna be 19 when she's 2, and so on and so forth. So you're gonna always look at them like they're that baby. So you can still, I'm not saying tongue them down, slob them up before they go to prom, but it's okay. Like if you catch yourself, it's still your baby, and like there's gonna be a time when you can't kiss them anymore.
Yeah, but you don't kiss them on the lips.
Don't tell me where to kiss them.
Like,
I gave her these lips.
Listen. You can't get mad at white people kissing dogs on the lips if you're going to kiss your kids on the lips, okay?
A white person, you all white comparing dogs to children. That's the problem. Out here treating this. Yo, the other day I don't trust people who walk down the street talking to their animals because I was walking down the street and this lady was having a full-fledged conversation with her pup. And I'm just like, this is weird. Like, it's one thing to just be like, sit, stare, high five, hands up. But she was like, didn't I tell you? And I'm like, you can't ask a dog, didn't I tell you? Like, brr.
Yeah, we don't trust her either. Get her the fuck out of here. But listen, internet, you know how to get involved. I don't trust people. Hashtag I don't trust people on Twitter. At Premium Pete Show, at Premium Pete, at Miss Lissa knows. Let us know who you or what you don't trust. And if ain't no fuck shit, then we're going to put it on the next episode of the Premium Pete Show. Listen, my son, it was great for you to come.
Yes, we
chop it up with us.
Thank you for having
Sit down.
me.
Let me tell you, let's let the internet know again. When do you have your event at BB King's?
BB King's is March 25th.
Okay. And what about the album mixtape? It's going to come out.
I'm going to drop it on the same day. That's what
Question, why are we calling it an album mixtape? Because it's like some new material, like it's an EP out, like
it's an album. It's an album
Okay.
mixtape because the series started as on a mixtape. So you can actually go get one definition of a G1 and 2. It's online. You know, you can go get that. But
Right.
I want to continue the series because I feel like it ties into it. But I want to make it an album. So I'm saying, you know, album mixtape. So because the mixtape is the series. So
Our Blixtape.
Our mixtape. There you go.
Mixtape. So listen, my son, continue inspiring people all around the world. Real talk.
Man.
Continue to never give up on yourself because I know people will see you, think just because you want flex or think because it went well, everything is fucking gravy.
Nah,
I know what it is. And what I mean by that is like shit is a struggle every day.
Every day.
And, you know, I'm proud to see you out here fighting for equal rights, you know, spitting that real shit. And you know, actually before we go, who inspired you to even spit? I didn't even mention that. Like who inspired you?
One of I had a friend named June Brown, God bless the dead. He was like the dopest rapper ever.
Out of the Bronx?
Yeah, out of the Bronx. He was like my next door neighbor. And he used to just write rhymes. He had books of rhymes. And I used to go to his house. And he used to just be in there spitting. I used to be like, yo, this is dope. And he had like this, he was like LL. He had like that flow, the same kind of delivery. And he was smooth with it. But it was hard. It was like unbalanced. And he could just rhyme his punchlines, everything. He was one of the dopest rappers. He used to be hype man for Missy. Like,
Okay,
you know
okay.
what I'm saying? Like Missy heard him and then she made him a hype man because he was mad energy, his stage presence, you know. So he was like my first influence. And then I just loved EPMD. I loved Rakim.
Of course.
Coogee Rap. Like,
EPMD tell you a story about Jane.
yeah, like Jane was one of my favorites. So I used to listen to that song every day.
Yeah, I asked him about. He said he don't know who Jane is. You know, Eric. He said, they were just vibing, man. You know, I seen. It's so good to see someone get the the love when they're doing something dope. You know, that Flex freestyle. And shouts to Flex again because he gave you the opportunity and it really I seen tons of people all over like Torre and Daechuan and so many, even I think maybe Pete Rock, but tons of people posting that shit and just saying like, yo, motherfucker went in.
Yeah.
And it's good to see that and capitalize on that shit and continue to strive and even like Killer Mike. I seen him was like, he was like, yo, Killer Mike showed so much love to you recently about not only just where your mindset at is at, but you were pretty lethal with them bars too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I like
you know what I mean? And you know what? As we leave the internet, I'm gonna say this. This line really stuck with me. It said, "To the real G's, trying to save these shorties. To the kids I misled, I just want to say I'm sorry." And you said that twice.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuck with me because I was like, yo, man, that shit was so real because it was like, we really need to teach these youngins. And I think it's the way we approach them. Sometimes, it's like if you try to approach them on like, listen, motherfucker, you don't know shit. You a young motherfucker.
Exactly.
Now, if you pull over the hardest kid, you know what I mean? Talking all that shit, the hardest kid. If you pull him over and talk to him like you actually care or you want to spit some knowledge in, he'll listen. And it's important that we do that, man. And if we misled them, telling them that like this life is all shiny and beautiful, and not that there's some dark times in it, then I'm sorry.
Facts.
So, Internet, Mysonne, make sure you check him out. Yo, where do they get them shirts? Where they get?
You can go to New Bronx City on Instagram. We have at New Bronx City. We have www.newbronxcity.com. Mm-hmm. But go to my Instagram page, New Bronx City, at New Bronx City, and you can order from there.
I like that one that says gangster but woke as fuck.
That's right.
Anyway, all the best, man, and blessings sent your way, most definitely.
Peace.
Internet, Mysonne.
Thank you.
See you next episode. Cheer.
Cheer.